training in Natal, having a lot of success training with amazing athletes. I got very close to Renan Barão, Jussier Formiga. Those guys were doing very good already in their career. And I started watching what they were doing, copying what they were doing. I saw that they were very professional. They were spending time with their family and training, really acting like professional athletes. And I was like, okay, this is the path. This is the people I want to learn from. And they were traveling to Rio de Janeiro to get better training, you know. And when I saw that, I saw opportunity to get better, to find better resources for my career. And I'm talking about a time where women was not even in the UFC, but I had the vision. I believed in myself. So then I made a decision of going to Rio de Janeiro. I didn't have anything. What I had was a lot of courage. I was never afraid of hard work. I knew that I was gonna have to do something crazy and big to be able to change my life, because I come from nothing. And you know, I started getting sponsorships from brands, clothing brands, supplement brands, and I started selling that stuff. I started selling that stuff to be able to pay for my training, to pay for my gear, to eat. And this was my first couple entrepreneurial endeavors. And then from there, you know, I decided to move to Rio de Janeiro because that's where the best fighters from Brazil were training. And I wanted to train with the best because I knew that this was gonna be my opportunity to change my life. That was my only opportunity to change my life, and I went all in. So I talked to my dad and I told him, hey, I know I'm just a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, but I see a path here, I see a career. And I remember clearly telling my dad, I am gonna become a black belt in jiu-jitsu and I'm gonna do great things with my life. And I remember him looking at me and saying, that sounds crazy, but okay. And then I was able to save the money to buy my flight, and I flew to Rio de Janeiro, got my way to Nova Uniao gym. This is the academy that built so many world champions like Leonardo dos Santos, Vitor Shaolin, like Robson Moura, and those guys were all transitioning from jiu-jitsu to MMA. So was Aldo. So it was a bunch of other people that were very passionate about jiu-jitsu, but they saw opportunity to change their lives through MMA. And so did I. And I was watching their behaviors and copying their behaviors because I knew that was the answer for what I was looking for. But when I got to Rio, I didn't know that there was no women there, no girls there. It was just guys. And the head coach there, he wasn't always on the gym because he was a busy man. He was a manager for a lot of fighters. He was helping all these fighters to get ready for fights and also transition from one sport to another. So I got to his gym and he was not there, and I sat in front of his gym. I remember I got there 8 a.m. and I waited all day for him to walk by because I needed to understand how I was going to be able to afford training in his gym. It was not cheap. And finally, about like 2 p.m., he walks by and I go, "Hey, Dede, I'm Claudinha. I am a student of Jair Lourenco, and I wanna train in your gym. I wanna become a fighter." And I remember him looking at me like, "Are you crazy?" And I said, "Yeah, this is what I want to do." And he was like, "Okay, if this is really what you want to do, you can train here in my gym." But then I told him I don't have money, what I do with that. And then he gave me a discount, which was like I was gonna pay like $10 per month, $10 per month to train in his gym and be part of the Novo Uniao Vale Tudo training. And I started, training there through this plan I had in his gym. And also he put me in touch with one of his friends that had little rooms in the favelas, and he rented rooms out. So I got in touch with this guy. His nickname is Curupira, and he was a black belt, a dead-ass black belt, and he got me a little room in the favela for 125 reals. This is about like $30 a month. But for that, I was gonna have to walk about 20 minutes to get to the bottom of the favela, and then walk upstairs another 20 minutes, and then climb a rock, hold a post to be able to get to the surface. And that's where the door was to this little room where I didn't have beds. There was just like a little studio with a bed. It was a room with a bathroom, a little sink, and a rotten fridge with a 2-burner stove on top of it. And he got me 2 pieces of mats that he had from a social project he used to have back in the day. And I put that on the floor, and this is where I lived for so many years in my life. And I remember times of like going up, this favela, and like sometimes with a heavy backpack in my back, my gear all wet, after training, and carrying bags of food, and then just asking God for, a light in the end of my tunnel, because I didn't know what my life was gonna look like. I saw the crime happening in the favela. I saw, girls getting raped. I saw so many things in the time I lived there that was crazy, very, very crazy. But it was the moment of my life where I learned so much. And I grew so much. And if I had to go back and redesign my life, I would do everything again, because that was my superpower, and this is one thing that I would take for the rest of my life. The trauma I had in my childhood, the way I was rejected in my childhood, it was my superpower. Some people take that and become victims of the system. Others takes that and they turn that into their superpower. And I decided to do that. I used all the anger I had in my heart and in my soul, and I transformed into something to do something great with my life, And it was crazy back then. People didn't admire women in sports in Brazil back then, but I didn't care about what anybody told me or think. I just cared about my goals, my dreams, my opportunities, and I took them all. I was taking advice from people that knew better than me, like anybody that knew more than me. I was taking advice from them. I was always asking questions and wanting to understand what was the path to success. I was always sitting down and taking notes when I was not able to train, because sometimes if there was 8 people on the mats, they would train with each other. If there was 9 people on the mats, now they need somebody, then I would come in and train. It was not always that I had the opportunity to train, but I earned it by showing them that I wanted, and I wanted so bad. I was hungry. I had the desire to learn and to win, and eventually they accepted me there. They were like, okay, she's here to stay, she's serious, and we're gonna help her. And some people started to help me. Renan Barão was the first guy that really, really took the time to teach me a lot of stuff in MMA. When I got to Rio, I thought I was gonna be there for Jiu-Jitsu, and then everybody was migrating to MMA, and then I went with everybody. I went with whatever they were doing, because I knew it was the right thing to do, and it was my only opportunity in life.